Hey everyone, welcome to Artist Decoded. This is your host Yoshino, and you are listening to episode number 71 of the podcast. In this episode, I get the opportunity to talk to Gustavo Torres, aka Kidmograph. And if you've never seen his work before, you should go check it out at kidmograph.com. He is an art director, motion designer, and illustrator based out of Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I had a great conversation with him. I've liked his work for a very, very long time. So you should go check his work out. He does a lot of things for like different musicians and music videos and live performances. So please do go check his work out. He's extremely talented. You're not going to be disappointed. Also, I've been posting a lot more on my personal Twitter. If you like to go check it out, it's at Yoshino Studios, and on my Instagram, both are at Yoshino Studios. So here it is, episode number 71 of Artist Decoded with Gustavo Torres, aka Kidmograph. Hope you enjoy it.
Hey.
Gustavo?
Hey. Yep.
Hey, how's it going, man? How are you?
How are you, man? I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, cool, man. Glad that we can finally do this, man.
Yeah. It was like 2 months ago, right? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess, Jarrell Perry introduced us. He's a very good friend of mine. I hang out with him almost weekly.
Yeah, cool.
And I mean, I've been a fan of your work for a while. I've seen your work, on Instagram and different social media websites and stuff. And
thanks, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. So it's really a pleasure to talk to you, man. How did you, I guess, going into like some of your work and stuff, like how did you discover your own personal artistry, and what medium did you first start off with?
Oh yeah, well that's a kind of long story because I always draw, and I'm a painter in my beginnings. So I did a lot of paintings and illustration work from since I was a child. And in the last, I don't know, like 15 years, more or less, I started to make the transition, between the traditional methods and works into the digital world. So it took me quite some time as well to make this transition, until I have something that I was really happy with,
Yeah.
And the first years was like, struggling with the application, the software, trying to learn the softwares, trying to translate all my learnings in the hand-drawn world into the digital was quite a really big work as well, and at the same time, maybe 9 years ago, I started to find my own style inside of this huge transition. So I started to start making more confident work and being more confident with my work within, so
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So transitioning from painting over to, doing things through Cinema 4D and doing things on a more digital platform, what sort of paintings did you do before? Like, was it oil painting? Was it watercolors? Did you?
Everything, a little bit of everything. I did a lot of acrylics, oils. I was really into the mixed media here with, like collage and mixing different stuff. And I was really happy with it, but here in my country, it's really difficult to start in a career being an artist, a classic artist.
Mm-hmm.
is like a very closed group of people, with a lot of money, and you have to belong to that, to that group.
Yeah, it's like
To
classes almost.
Yeah. It's not. Is I live in the third world, and here we have so many different problems to solve that making a career from art is not a priority here,
Yeah.
So that could be an issue or a problem to you have to face when you're young and trying to start to start with something that you really like in my case was the painting world and the illustration. I tried to make some really small work with illustrations, but it was they was really small, so
Hmm.
I could make a living for that, so that's why I had this idea of making the transition to digital and trying to start looking for it and working for it at the same time.
So just to go back a little bit, but what were those first renditions like, the first, paintings that you did and the first artworks before you went digital?
Oh, well, I did a lot. I when I was to I went to a beauty art school here when I was teenager. Uh,
What's beauty art school? Like what is
yeah,
that?
it's like a regular school, but with a specialty in the art in the art world. Like I have uh, a lot of different I don't know, classes for art,
Uh-huh.
and it was a really, I don't know, was a really intense school with a lot of teachers, really good teachers. But this is before the university, so I had a really strong formation back then, and I was like painting and working every single day at the same time that I was doing my regular school,
Yeah.
so it was like a double shift thing or triple shift thing because it was really intense,
Yeah.
and it was like 6 years, and that part was really important for me in my formation. And right after that, when I got graduated at 18 years old, I entered to the university, but I really hated because it was a, a really low average, level. Uh,
Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah,
you
because
know,
it seems like, prior to university, at least from what you're telling me, that you studied for 6 years strictly on your craft, right? So
yeah,
do
yeah.
you
When I,
do
when I entered to the university, it was like oh come on, man, this is so soft.
yeah, it was like beginners level stuff,
Yeah.
right?
People, the grown people that wanted to start studying, but it was like a bit too late, for us because we were like so hard trained in this school that it didn't make any sense. So that's the time that I started to make a lot of paintings, and I don't know. I have I can show you some of them because I have some some stills back then. I keep some those, but my style was like uh, something expressionist, but mixed with modern concepts. Like I don't know, influenced by Bacon. But at the same
Mm-mm.
time, with all people in the expressionism world, um, some things in the pop culture, but always trying to make my own style at the same time and working with new materials and trying to be contemporary.
Of course, yeah. It seems like, I mean, I don't know, I like that approach, that you were a painter first and you use that to inform your craft to, go into this new medium. But I
Yeah.
mean, even like, I don't know, I say this a lot on the podcast, but I personally like artists that trust their craft that much to where they can go into different mediums and try to explore those mediums.
Yeah.
I find
Yeah,
that much more interesting than, you know, one
yeah,
person
sure.
who works at the same exact thing for their entire life. You know, I mean, there's something cool about that as well, but it's just, I relate more with people that kind of flow with different mediums as technology progresses and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, of course, because you can feed yourself with different things, and you can go back and try whatever you were doing before. With that knowledge, you can apply that knowledge in different areas. So yeah, I agree with that. I always try to go to different fields, but at the same time they are always related, because I didn't started to, I don't know, being a musician, because I really tried to focus on my own skills in certain way, but trying to mix different things and go from different worlds makes your actual work a lot richer.
Exactly.
uh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love. I mean, just looking at your most current works, like how you
Mhm.
juxtapose. I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like a room that you document sometimes, and then you put three-dimensional figures into it.
The 3D trackings.
Yeah, the 3D trackings. So
Yeah,
I feel like there's something so interesting about that because you can tell it's digital, but
yeah,
at the same time, it has some sort of relevance to like real life. So it kind of fucks with your
yeah,
reality a little bit. And
yeah.
I feel like you
That's
do
that's
it,
what I want.
huh?
That's what I want.
No, no, it's
That's cool.
cool. It's very, very well executed, man. It's very well executed.
I didn't want to make something like you feel that it's so perfect that you think it's real. No, I don't like to play with that at that level, at least for now. Because I think that some things like this kind of situation that you can see clearly, it's because it's not clear at the same time. It's nothing is so clear that you can just relate. And
Exactly.
that confusion, in your brain can be more interesting for me. That's something that is just, I don't know, if hyper real, just for the sake of being hyper real.
I like that. I think I was at this discussion that are you familiar with Gaspar Noé,
Yeah, 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 sure.
the filmmaker?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was breaking down his process and showing, you know, different films from like Godard and some other filmmakers that inspired him, and then he was
Mhm.
using examples from like Godard's Breathless, and then you know he's showing how like there's these disparate elements like that he uses within his own films. So it's like something that's hyper real, but then he juxtaposes it with like really chaotic music, or something that
Mhm.
is like a really chaotic, violent scene, and then he
Yeah.
juxtaposes that with really quiet music.
Hmm.
And I find that to be really interesting, that sort of like discourse that some artists, I guess maybe that's just my personal taste. It's like I find beauty in that discourse, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
another example is like Nicolas Amori. Are you familiar with his paintings?
Oh no, sorry.
You might.
No,
I think you would really like him. I'll send you a
I,
link later. But
yeah, please.
so it's this painter, and he's like he does like these classical renditions, like very well executed paintings. But then he
Yeah.
burns the shit out of them. Like he'll
Yeah.
physically burn his painting, and then it just looks
Yeah.
all
Oh,
fucked up and distorted. Do you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think like I kind of see that within you, and but more in like a digital sense, especially like, you know, documenting a piece of reality and then
Mhm.
putting in your figure in there, but then it looks all like distorted. It's really cool, man.
Yeah. I started making those tests based on basically that thing that you are saying, but also just trying to, like making real usual situations, nothing too special, but making something special from something ordinary,
Yeah.
You're right about that search that some of us can do is like, we are not I don't know the word to say this, but we just can we just can stay in one thing, we just have to keep investing our minds and our feelings on top of the of the work itself, so we are always trying to think, what if we are going and just break this beautiful painting that you are mentioning me like a minute ago, like
Yeah.
how if I do something really cool, really real, hyper real or whatever, and I can just destroy one part of that. How can I react from that, and until you don't do that, you can know, so you don't know. The result is part of experimenting, so I think the experimenting with different things and going really into the limits, pushing the limits, we all always have our own limits, but if we don't try different things, we are always in the same place, and it's
Exactly.
really boring. It's really boring, man.
Where did
I
you? Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Go on.
Sorry. No, so it's okay, tell me.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So, I think a lot of times people don't realize how much experimentation and kind of how much you have to dig deep and kind
Hmm.
of like the pain and suffering of what it is to be an artist. Do you know what I mean? Like the emotional pain
Yeah.
and sacrifice and suffering.
Yeah,
um,
it's a little bit of everything. I think it's suffering, and at the same time it's joy. You have to play with all your senses and feelings, and everything is there at some point. I don't know if the idea of the suffering itself make an artist what it is, but also the variations between because we are a mixture of different feelings. No one is so happy every every single minute, or sad.
no,
We-
yeah,
you know.
no, exactly. I know. I guess that's the point that I
But
was.
sorry, I interrupt you.
Oh no, no,
I
no, no,
was
no, no, no. My bad. And then I interrupted you. My bad, man.
You were saying another thing, and I was
Oh no, no, no. Well, I
remembering.
guess where I was going with the suffering part is that I'm just saying, like, a lot of people want to get into pursuing some sort of career within the arts, right? But then they don't
Yeah.
necessarily realize like how much you have to dig deep and how much,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
um, kind of like of an emotional roller coaster it could be. But
Hmm.
I was gonna ask, like, how did you find that sort of confidence within yourself to
Mm.
continue and to push through the I guess the negative things. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. We. Well, I try to fight with my own demons, of course, like everybody else. And this is an artistic profession, so we are in different moods every day. Just from the starting point, it's really difficult for that, because this is not like a scientific thing or whatever, or mathematical thing. We have to fight with our emotions every day. We are in different moods every day, so our work is in different status every day. But at the same time, it's a work, and you have to try to make and keep a system of work in order to make it fluid and make it an everyday thing. So the things that I do is just trying to have a system of work that I was saying to you, like trying to keep to keep it simple in my mind, trying to
Yeah.
not get desperate for different, pressure in things, like clients and deadlines and people talking to you, and always try to keep away from all that at some point.
Hmm.
um,
What's your workflow generally like? Like what
yeah.
is a day in the life of Gustavo Torres?
Well, in fact, I'm a really structured person. Like
Yeah, yeah.
really to to have my 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 hours of work um, in a really clean way. Without so many interruptions in the middle. So I'm trying to get up in the morning really earlier in the morning, trying
What
to,
time usually?
yeah, 7 a.m., 7:30.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I find myself very productive in the morning. I think it's because I'm getting old.
No, I feel the same way. I think I'm very similar in that way. Like I like to wake up at like 7:30 every morning,
Yeah,
and then work out at least 5 to 6 times a week.
yeah,
And I like to keep things really structured. Like I keep my calendar like really like structured, almost to
yeah.
like the minute. you
Yeah, I
know?
think we need a discipline, for everything we have to do. We need a discipline, and in my case, well, me and my wife, because we work almost together here in our home studio, but um, because we are 100% freelancers, we really need to have a system of work. It's really important for us. That makes that make us everything for us, because we depend of ourselves. So
Yeah.
it's like really crazy, because if I just go crazy the day of tomorrow, everything is going down, literally.
Yeah. Man,
I
that's
just
uh
we depend of ourselves. So, but it has its own beauty, and because we have a really autonomy of decisions here, and every client we have, the client knows more or less how we work, and how they expect the work. So that's not a problem. Thank God, in the last, I don't know, 5 6 years from now, that's
yeah.
something that we achieved, and that's part of this system that I was talking to you earlier.
Yeah. Where did you find that dedication to continue like that, to find that system for yourself?
Yeah, that's a question that I have a lot of people asking me the same thing.
Oh, really?
And
Dang it.
but I just really don't have an honest or a straight answer for that. I think it depends a lot on the person first. It depends on the inner life each one has. Like the
Yeah.
things like imagination. I don't know, stupid things like that can work in this kind of job, because I'm also I am not a person that I am consuming I don't know, motion graphics, digital art every single moment. I try to keep my, and this is something that always say to the people. I try to keep away from that, because I think at some point it's like a contamination for me. So I'm trying to look in my my inside view,
Oh, I see
and
what you mean.
trying, yeah, and I'm trying to search for different variables inside me. Like if I'm going for instance, I'm doing this kind of style. Okay, I make, like, I don't know, let's say 6 different videos from certain style. That's one thing that I have in my brain. So I can just make my own library of different things, and something that I just do that can be the door from another thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I see what you
Like
mean.
I'm just trying to pick different things from my own history.
Experiences.
Yeah, and that makes something new at the same time. And of course, the music, and of course, I see, I don't know, movies, and I hear music every single day of my life. But not trying to make my visual references too much contaminated with so many things that we have right now, with the
Yeah.
social media and people making things everywhere. It's like
Yeah.
it's really hard for guys.
So you try not to look too much on the internet for inspiration, but you
Yeah,
try to look within yourself,
yeah,
with your own
exactly.
experiences, your past experiences to like,
Yeah, because
mhm.
what's the first the person, the first thing that you hear from the person when I'm trying to make a job is, you can use, the X person X person works, this, that, and that's something that can be really harmful, for you, because I see that in the young people,
Yeah.
that they are trying really hard to get similar to different other people, and that's really bad for them, because they are not investing their time in building their own style, so they end making something that is not personal.
Yeah. I have so I have a theory on that, and it's not like a theory that I put on paper, but it's like some sort of a theory. So I think it's like, in the beginning when you're first learning a craft,
Yeah,
you tend to try to like copy the things that you really like. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And after a certain time, like I've been, an artist and doing photography for about 10 years and doing,
Mhm.
going into like doing music videos and commercials and things on the video side, right?
Yeah.
But, that first couple years, it was this sort of incubation period of where I was learning a bunch of stuff. And then after a
Hmm.
while, you just get bored of that and you're like, you know what? Like, what is me? Like, who am I? What am I
Yeah,
trying to say, right?
yeah.
And I think, sometimes people don't even question that. They just continue and just essentially regurgitate what they
Mhm.
see. But sometimes, like for me, I was like, okay, like what am I about? And then now it's like I trust my process to where I just do what I do, and it's more natural and it's more fun actually.
Yeah, of course. It's like you have to decide your starting point. You can start making things like just copying others people works, but if you are not making all this transition between the blank canvas until, like you said, because we are always influenced by, I don't know, the greatest painters of all time, but you can copy that, you can make your own studies, you can just start it over from that, but if you're not making all this timeline, your own timeline, at the same time, the product you are making, the people can feel that product is not so legit,
Yeah, of
the,
course.
the,
Yeah, yeah.
some people don't, but other people can feel that and can see that and can notice that it's not exactly the guy is not making that because it feels that, just making that because, I don't know, it's cool or making money with that,
Yeah, I think
It's-
it takes a really well-trained eye to
yeah,
understand, oh, this person's trying to be like Francis Bacon or this person's trying to be like whatever,
yeah.
and yeah, I think the people who do it really well, I mean, it's hard not to be influenced by things, right? So I
Of
think
course, but it's good. For me, I think it's good being influential for things that you can eventually translate into your own experience. Because
yeah,
that's life. That's the life. You can learn from someone that you really feel that, but you can just transcode that in your own way and make something based on that, and and that's something original. But that's at least my opinion with this option.
Yeah, exactly. I did want to ask, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
virtual reality?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts on virtual reality, but sadly, I don't play with that the way that I really want to, because just for a sake of, I need the gear, and
Yeah.
I have to buy the gear. For that, I really have to travel to get that gear, because here is so expensive, man. You don't have an idea. So I'm planning to, in my next travel to the state or wherever I go, I will buy some, I don't know, tilt brush and whatever, this kind of thing.
You know what you should do is because I was just over at the Instagram headquarters actually, and you said you're working with Instagram, right? And
Yeah. I'm
Instagram,
working.
Facebook, and Oculus, they're
Yeah,
all on the same
fun.
campus.
Yeah.
I mean, you should just have them send you one. You know?
Yeah, right. I have my rights, man.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure there's a way that you could, uh, talk your way into that somehow
Yeah.
because you are creating things in this digital space. And if they just like gave you one and you had, I mean, you'll be able to like figure out how to maneuver in that space and to create your own things within that space. I mean, it would definitely push the innovation of the
Yeah,
platform, you know?
it's really crazy. I follow some people in Twitter, and they play a lot with the HTC
Yeah,
Vive,
the Vive.
the Vive thing with tilt brush. At the same time, they are painting in real 3D time space, and that's a really crazy thing that I really want to invest my time in that, and I really want to make I don't know, 360 landscapes, or I don't know, maybe portraits or whatever. I really want to play with that. I had the opportunity this year. I had to go to France for a new movie, for a sci-fi movie, a really blockbuster movie,
Oh,
and
that you did work for?
and and I was there, and the guys just gave me some these 3D classes, and I was watching the movie in 3D space. It was like a 360 video, so you can just turn your head whatever and see the sets in 360 video. It was really crazy. I was
Yeah.
really high watching that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the virtual reality is a really interesting experience. I've done a lot of personal research on virtual reality, and they have a lot of virtual reality conferences going on in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Um, it's going to be a really interesting space. I mean, especially Facebook bought Oculus Rift for $2 billion.
yeah,
It's going to be really, really interesting to see in the next 5 years how virtual reality will
yeah.
transform everything in good and bad.
Yeah, of course, like everything. It will be good for some things, and I don't know, the pros and the cons. It's really hard to say right now, because they are just in beta. We are just testing different things, but I think it's in beta right now in terms of usability. But it has a lot of different applications. Like even medical applications, for the construction, building things. I had the other time that I was making my own research, and I was just watching this company that they are building a glass that you can load. For instance, I don't know, let's say this Mac Pro, and you have the model of this Mac Pro, and you have exactly each piece from the computer, and they explain to you in 3D, in real time animation, how to build different things for your computer. And that's really crazy. Even the army is using it.
Yeah.
because they can build different stuff with just data. They have data, and they whatever can go and just go step by step and build different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really helpful.
No, I think it's so cool. I mean, essentially these tools are used to create things from your imagination.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
just like video games or um it's to explore people's creativity or to open up a portal to be able to understand what you like creatively. I mean, even look at like Minecraft, for instance, like on the most basic level, yeah, it's like blocks
Yeah,
and things like
yeah,
that, right? But for these
exactly.
kids that are creating these worlds, that opens your mind up to just creating other worlds and to understand that you can create a world of your own in some way,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, like we are making our own avatars.
Yeah, exactly.
We are playing our own games. We are building everything around us, and that's really game changer. I really want to see this in the next 5-10 years from now, and it will be really really cool for us, man, being here at this time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can believe that I am in the same in the same age that this is happening, because my first computer was like a really terrible computer. Video games was like in the TV, like I had to put some cartridge in
Yeah.
the console. It was
Oh, I know. Oh, I know what you mean. I mean, were you talking about like Nintendo or
yeah,
NES or?
yeah. Before that, it was really archaic, but
Yeah.
it's incredible to see all this evolution, man. Really crazy.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I was a kid and I got the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
So to give you some context, I just turned 30. I'm 30 years old now, and I was 5 when I got the
Yeah.
Sega Genesis. I remember putting that cartridge in and playing Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck is this? This is
This is what I'm talking.
amazing!" You know?
Yeah, it's really crazy,
I,
man.
I mean, I
Well,
probably didn't say what the fuck, but my 5-year-old self, probably didn't say that, but
yeah, yeah. Well, I am 38 right now, so I more or less uh, understand you.
yeah, exactly. I'm curious, what was it like? You know, growing up in Buenos Aires, did you grow up in Argentina? Have you always been there?
Yeah, I always been there. Here, I am from La Plata. La Plata is the capital from Buenos Aires. It's the really nice city, and it's a really artistic city. So that's where I studied.
Hmm.
Um, it's yeah, I really like that part of my life because with a lot of different people of my age, different people coming from other cities, because we had the university school there, so it was a really good experience, and I learned a lot. And from 10 years from now, I'm living in a small city with a lagoon.
Uh-huh.
uh, I am like 1 hour from Buenos Aires. I live here with my wife and my daughter, and we just built our home, our very own
That's
home
awesome.
studio. So we are really happy here. Yeah, it's really quiet, and this is something that really help me to keep my mind clean, and
Yeah.
keep me focused on the things that I really want to invest, which is my family, my work, and I don't have to be worried with, I don't know, traffic and people
Yeah.
people seen every single day, get stuck in the traffic for half an hour.
Oh, I know what you mean. But let me ask one more question. Where does the name Kidmograph come from?
Oh man, that's crazy. The last thing that I remember is that I had another username in Twitter, but my account was hacked, or I don't know, scammed or whatever, and I have to start everything again. So
Yeah.
here I have a translate for that word here, because it's like you know the translate is the guy who makes motion graphics. It's really easy to, but we have here a really another way, like a slang for that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I think that in terms of making a real way to show my alter ego, my real side of my view of
Yeah.
the my perspective, my own perspective, and started to make the things that I really like, the styles that I really like, and basically I started all over with that around 2012, something like that.
That's
Uh,
cool. Yeah. So it was kind of like a
uh,
definitive point where you're changing
yeah,
your direction.
yeah, because also I had was a really tough times for me. I had a really personal matters here, situations really bad, and also I was working with a director. I know if you know Nabil Elderkin. You know Nabil.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's from LA, or he's Australian, but he lives in LA. I worked with him like for 6 years. My first stage was with him. We did a lot of music videos, and we worked together for 6 years. And suddenly we finished our relationship, and I had to start all over. And that was like a big step for me, because I really thought, okay, what do you really want to people see from you? What do you want from people to be contacted you, and what's the things that you really love, and just starting to make my own my own my own person again.
Yeah, yeah, your
So
own visual
yeah,
voice.
yeah. So that's basically how we started with Kidmograph.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I think there's
Yeah.
something it's crazy yeah, to kind of come to that realization in your life, whether
Mhm.
it be like a like a name change, like an alter ego almost,
Mhm.
or what have you, but just to come to that point in your creativity to dig deeper
Mhm.
underneath the surface and really try to figure out who you are as a person. And I think
Yeah,
there's some beauty in that. I mean, look, that was 2012. This is 2016.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, I mean, I think that's what life is about. You're constantly changing, and you just have to, evolve with that.
yeah. And also find a way to to everything make sense to you. At the same time, like searching for things that can makes you happy, and you really really want to make. And if nothing of that is enough for you, okay, you can just go and make don't do anything and just take your time. you know
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, there
you
was
can do
a
that.
wait, say that again?
No, that's valid too, but that's not my kind of reaction with everything. Instead, I try to reinvent myself, and I can say that at least for me at this point, it makes sense, because I'm really happier that before with my job, with the things that I do right now, and the way that I work right now, so it's more like okay, this is me, this is what I do, this is what I can offer. And of course we can talk about that, and we can go further that, because nothing is static. That's why I really love animation, because nothing is static in life. And each different little thing that you can do, that can lead you to another thing. And this is like a really big uh, timeline that we can go through.
I like that.
That's my I can make that resume.
No, it's cool. I love that, man. And it's been a pleasure talking to you, Gustavo. And
Yeah,
I
man.
hope to bring you back
I-
on again, for another conversation too.
yeah, of course, man. I really like it, talk with you, man. That's really nice,
Yeah.
and nice to know you, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And if I'm ever in Argentina, I'll stop by.
Yeah, of course, man. I forgot to say that to you. Sorry.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
it's okay. I really want to go to Argentina and explore a bit, just
yeah,
around that area and countries around that area I think are really beautiful. And um yeah.
yeah. This is a really, really beautiful country with a lot of potential. The only problem that we have is we need to be more agree each other.
Mm,
uh, in the political stuff. We have to
yeah.
just like it's the being divided is good, but at the same time we need to stay together,
Unite.
uh, to go to the same place together. Understand.
Oh no, I
But it's a really, really nice place. People here is really warm. We are very, very, I don't know how to say that, with the foreign people. We are really,
welcoming of foreign people.
yeah, that we are really, we treat you very well. that's
Yeah.
that's a fact. That's a fact. We are known for that. We are
Yeah.
really
Oh,
passionate people here.
hospitable.
Yeah, hospitable and passionate people here,
Yeah.
and you will be fine, man. And of course, let me know. Of course.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, Gustavo, it was great talking to you, and I look forward to our next conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Okay. Just if you have any more questions, just let me know, and we can set up another meeting, or we can go through emails or whatever you want, man. I'm always online, and just it was a pleasure talking to you, man. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, man.
And say hello to Jarrell as well.
All right. Yeah, I'll let him know that you say hi.
Okay, man.
All right, Gustavo. Take it easy.
Okay.
All right.
Bye bye. Bye
All right, bye.
bye.